좀 더 먼 곳에도 갈 수 있을 것 같아요.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Twa here, and this will be a video on Rehartna. Now, she's been out for a long time, and I think she needs some love. So, what I'll be covering today is her kit, what makes her tick, what builds she should be using, what artifacts she should be using, and where she is viable. So let's start out with some pros and cons. First of all, she is an amazing stunner. With her S1 on a very short cooldown, she is really good. She has high amp onto a full team with her S3, also reducing cooldowns on top of that. She is also one of the lowest investment characters. With just a unique weapon 0-star and a unique treasure 0-star, you have enough to keep her rocking. She is viable in nearly every team, both physical and magical, and as you guys see in the background, she is an Eclipse goddess. Now, with this big list of pluses, you would ask yourself, what is bad about her? Guess what? She's a healer, her heal is bad. What the hell? I'll explain why a little later. Let's get into the skills. So her S1 is a stun, hits her 4 times, and supposedly every hit is stunning 3 seconds. Also, there's a 25% attack reduction onto the target. Now, the reason why the skill is really good is that potent stun. Supposedly you have a 12-second stun, which is nasty on a world boss. Next up is the S2. This will create a shield that within that time will grant you CC immunity. This also provides an AoE radius, which is a healing factor. Also, this gives you a little bit of defense, and every monster that is within the AoE range gets attack speed reduced. Now, the reason why I think this skill is horrible bad, it has an AoE range, and if you would pop the bubble onto a frontliner, the backliners, your healers or your damage dealers, do not get healed. That's why I think it's very unreliable. Now, the next skill is one with an insane gimmick. Upon use onto either 4 or if you perk it right, 6 characters, you get a cooldown reduction up on 4 seconds. Now, you can perk this any way you want for more cooldown reduction, get the unique treasure on top of it for more cooldown reduction. But the main thing is you get 84k extra attack, and then upon every use you get another 10% on top of that, so 8.4k on every use. Now, if you pair Rehartna with Audi, for instance, you can get up to 10 or maybe even 20 stacks depending on how you're using Audi's reset to get as much attack as possible. Now, this does not get beaten by anything. Last but not least, we got ourselves the S4, which starts up the moment you start up a battle. And what it does, it heals the allies by a little bit from the start. It amps up the healing rate per stack. And if you do have the right unique treasure and the perk, you can be amping up your boss damage as well as the crit damage. Alrighty guys, as for building a Rehartna, it's very easy when it comes to gear. All she needs is survivability, attack speed for getting more MP, and that is about it because her heals are pretty ass. So if I would min-max it, however, get attack, crit, attack speed, and HP. You could build her tanky if you want to for Eclipse, but that would not be a go for me. So what would I be looking for in terms of artifacts? I would say the pocket watch. For one reason, very simple. If you can spam her S3 more, meaning that your whole team gets more attack, more cooldown reduction, and meaning you can do more damage. I don't think I need to explain that any more than that. So then, the unique weapon, is it a necessity? No, unless you got the soul weapon, because the dispel negative effects not all that useful onto, let's say, World Boss 1 or World Boss 2. And the extra damage reduction, just 10%, doesn't seem like a whole lot. So if I would go, however, to the soul weapon, it is a 50% extra increase onto attack. Whole team. Absolutely insane. So if you do get her soul weapon, get her unique weapon, just do a 0-star and you're pretty much done. Now, I'll go over to building a Rehartna, and I would address 2 of them. I'm not going over the 3rd PvP spec all that much, but let's go over the world bossing. The T5 Dark is hands down one of the biggest perks on Rehartna, and basically what it says is up on every use you get 3 attack and 3% all defense. Do that times 10, you got 30% on attack and defense. Absolutely insane. Now, if you're rocking 8 people into a world boss, you want to have the S3 on as many characters as you want. So getting the S3 light, really, really good. And now is the time where you can play around, because this skill, 12% crit damage onto all of your allies, seems really good, but it's mediocre in some terms. So is this a necessity? Not really. As well as the S2 Dark. Now, if you do not hit a character up on your front line with this skill, the P damage increase is non-existent. So having the skill seems debatable to get, but if you just mark it out, you get this, you get that, and if you want that extra MP, you can go with this. But if you already have enough MP like I have, you can play around and put this skill in either crit or attack speed, wherever you want to have it. Okay, this is for world boss. Now, if I would run Eclipse, it looks a little bit different. This one, cooldown reduction. And now I once again get to play with either this one for the P damage increase, because I'm assuming that at some point you're using Spirit Morphing, meaning that your tank will always have the lowest HP. So having this skill on that is really, really good. Now, once again, I am assuming your MP, if you're rocking something like this and you're not really going for any healing, you could go for a crit or the attack speed perk. Now, this opens up with the regular team. If you look at Frey, you can not even T a 95, or you don't even get the crit perk, because this time you got it onto Rehartna. So you're addressing something further along the road. So if I would pop this skill, let's say Frey has the attack speed, I will get the crit one on this, and basically this will conclude the build. Now, there's 2 things to address, and that is which unique treasures I'm going to use. Now, for Eclipse is very simple. I'm using this one. The normal 3 stacks that you get on S4 will become 6 stacks. That means the 6 stacks times 3% is 18% boss damage, as well as the 12% times 6 would be 72% crit damage extra on top of anything. So that makes it really good. Now, why would I pick the other one for world boss? I don't even have it. It is very simple. If I look at it, the normal 4% cooldown reduction, or 4-second cooldown reduction, will become 5 seconds, which is 25% increase. Now, if you do maximize this, however, you could get 2.5 extra addition, which is 6.5-second cooldown reduction onto your whole team. This makes it absolutely insane in terms of characters like Cecilia, with Priscilla buffs, with anything that stuns or needs some HP. So honestly, these are the best artifacts for Rehartna. Now let's go over to some footage on where I use her. 9 seconds, baby. We gotta stun this guy. Ugh, can we hit the 1T? Ugh, can we hit the 1.2? Can we hit the... So yeah, this is what Rehartna, Glenwest team, all of the resets, all of the extras, all the... Alright, onto a record run on World Boss 2. And guess what? Look at Rehartna. She is already on what? 23 stacks? So that is 84k damage plus... Wait a second. Is that 1600 extra attack? Wait, is that even more? Is that almost 200k attack at the very last piece? Ugh. That's some sick stuff. Now, pairing her with Cecilia seems really good for the cooldown reduction. So I tried it out at one of the bosses where I thought, she could be good. Normally, I use a claws on top of this, but I would honestly feel that with the claws, I would be doing more. Maybe with a good unique treasure 3, the cooldown lowering would be so much more, so I could be popping more damage overall during the whole run. But that is something that is up for debate. Alright, so one of the last showcases will be Lesikio, Tower Challenge 80. And you would think, wait, you really need some heals here. You need some defense. Guess what? If you stun this guy as fast as possible, he doesn't heal all that much. He doesn't have all that much defense, meaning your damage will actually amp up by a lot. So guess what? I'm tuning this guy into next Tuesday. Although it's a little hard to see, you will also be able to see what her healing is like. So currently I'm healing not all that much, but it is something, right? Rehartna gets hit in the back, and there we go. Try to heal myself up. I don't even get the shield on Rehartna. No, that's onto somebody else. And that's where the biggest problem is. You cannot target heal with her. But is this guy dying? Yeah, pretty much. Is he doing the Kamehamehas? No. So here we got that healing, just a little bit of percentage. On no attack, I would feel. But guess what? This guy got murdered. Ugh. So to conclude the video, it's very simple. If you guys want a low investment character with a very high reward, this is where you get Rehartna. Oh, and if you have trouble with Eclipse, yeah, you get yourself Kayn, get yourself Rehartna, get yourself a Frey, and guess what? With just the lowest of investments, you're able to beat at least wave 20, which is very, in my opinion, a very, very high reward. So guys, if I forgot to mention anything about the character, or if you guys have any questions about it, put it into the comments, and most of all, put a like down, and if you guys haven't, sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!